All right, guys, getting things ready and rolling. Decided to come out here and do a little fishing real quick and check in on everybody, see how you're doing. We're out here live, throwing a shaky head right now. See if I can get you guys in a good location so you can get a good view of everything. All right, I had to make a few adjustments on my boat, so wanted to come out here and test things out a little bit. I have a tournament coming up this weekend. All right, what's going on, guys? As you come into the chat, just drop a one in there. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. What's going on, Anthony? Yeah, just out here testing out a few things. I made some adjustments on my boat, so I wanted to come and just test some things out for just get ready for the tournament this weekend. All right, so we have Mask Off Fishing. He says throw the Chad Shad. All right, I think I might have to do that. Hold on just a second, guys. Okay. Yes. Yes. Got it. Well, I can just tell you real quick. Basically, all we would need is just your paperwork. That RTA package. Once you get that, that will be the number one thing we would need. Well, we'll just have once you submit the application. right, guys, we have some people coming into the chat. All right, I see a bunch of ones in there, so we're gonna get moving, guys. Um, all right, all right. So if you guys can hear me now, drop another. Just put a 2 in the chat. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me again. I had some technical difficulties going on, but hey, we're ready to rock and roll. All right, I see the 2s coming in. What's going on? We have Pale Rider, Anthony, Brett, Big Mike Fishing Chronicles. All right, guys. So the mission for today is I had to make some adjustments on my boat because my target lock went out on me. But I may use my electronics on this tournament that we're going to be fishing this weekend. Not really sure, but I do want to have them just in case I decide to fish a little offshore. But right now, the game plan is, let me just show you guys what the deck looks like right now. Can you see all the rods on that side? So I have all the rods on this side. This is my shallow water side. And then if we take a look over here, you guys see that? That is my offshore side. So I'm just getting out here, just getting all my gear and everything set up. So I'll be ready for whichever thing I decide to do. And also just wanted to make sure my trolling motor, everything like that was good. See some fish right out there. Let's go out there and see if they want to have some fun, see if they want to play. So right now I'm just throwing a shaky head, guys. All right, and mask off fishing, he had a request. He said throw that Chad shad. So I will be putting that on in a minute. Right now, all I'm doing is all of these rods that you guys saw that I'm fishing with, I'm gonna be cycling through all of these, just trying to make sure the line is good, the drag is set right, all of that kind of stuff, just getting ready for the tournament. See, that drag is kind of loose right there. Just trying to make sure everything is good to go for the tournament coming up this weekend. The goal is to catch a 7-pounder. That's right. I'm going to be out there for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And guys, that is right. Shout out to Randy, old gray hair Swain. All right. He says hit that like button. If you could, it really does help the channel, guys. If you could hit that like button for me. And also, if you like live content, I'm on the water live. I try to come out here at least once a week. Sometimes it may be twice. We also do live tournaments to where you can watch the competitors live competing against each other. And also every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I do the in-studio live broadcast where we talk about different things either going on in the fishing industry with fishing gear, just fishing in general. So yeah, if you like that, make sure you hit the like button also, guys. And actually, let's see. Okay, yeah, the likes are looking kind of famished right now. If you could hit that like button for me, and in the chat, if you have already hit the like button, just hit the just type like in the chat for me. Just want to see who we have participating in the chat today. All right, so right now I'm just kind of getting things lined up. All right, we have somebody. Let's see. Martin says, Randy, I'm in Swallow. What is that? Kansas. Am I getting that right? All right, Big Mike Fishing. Really appreciate that. Anthony, hit me up with the like button. Really appreciate that. All right, let's see if we can get up to 20 likes, guys. And actually, when you hit the like button, type the number of like, let's say we're sitting at 10 likes right now. If you hit the like and your number 11, put 11 in the chat. I just want to see where we're at, and like I said, who's showing some participation. So really appreciate that, Big Mike Chronicles and Anthony. Really appreciate that, guys. All right, and what I was explaining is today the mission is all of the rods that I showed you guys. You guys can kind of see them down here at my feet a little bit. So that is the offshore side, and this over here is the shallow water side. I'm going to be focusing on these right now, and on this side, as you guys can see, man, these calls are coming in today. Hold on, guys, let me see who this is. All right, so let's just do a quick rundown. So somebody was asking about the Chad shad. So this right here, I don't have it out yet, but I'm going to put that Chad shad on this rod and reel right here. This one right here, I'm going to put the mag draft on this one. Then as you guys can see, this one already has the spinner bait tied on there. Let's see if you guys can see that. Then we're going to be throwing this crankbait. I really need to have a different color on for this lake. More than likely, I'm going to run across spotted bass, but I found that chartreuse color, largemouth generally like those better. And this right here is a wacky rig. Have that because there's some docks over here that we're gonna eventually come up on. And then last but not least is the infamous buzz jet. Can you guys see that buzz jet right there? But once I start using them, as I put the different baits on, I'll kind of hold it up, show it to you so you guys can get a better look at it. And I'll tell you with the rod reel combo, line size, all that stuff is, just in case you want to get out on the lake and do the same thing. All right, Big Mike Fishing Chronicle says, "Do you have a jig tied on?" I do have a jig tied on, but it is not currently on the deck. So I would have to go um into the rod locker and pull that out. All right, let's see. Let's see what we have going on here, guys. All right, all righty. I'm gonna make a few more casts at this location, and then we're gonna start moving. I can see some fish over here, so I was just trying to see if maybe I could get those fish to bite. So let's change this up. And those fish are sitting right out that way, about 50 feet out. So let's try a small swim bait for these guys, because they're probably some smaller fish out there just based on where they're located at. All right, let's see. So we have Patricia. What is going on, Patricia? I think you've been in the chat before. Really appreciate you for coming back. She says, "I am number 6. Stay out of my trees." What do you know about the trees out here on Lake Lanier? Good to see you in the chat. All right, so yeah, guys, if you could hit the like button for me. Let's see if we can get up to 20 likes. All right, so the wind got that cast right there. So let me see if I can kind of change the angle a little bit. Maybe you guys can kind of see what I'm out here fishing. But the wind took that one, so I'm going to bring that back in and recast it. Let's go ahead and check the drag. Whoa, my goodness, that drag is locked down super tight. So like I was mentioning earlier, one of the things that I am doing out here today is just making sure all of my gear and everything is set up. All right, we have Lawrence hit me with the like button from South Africa. What is going on, my guy? Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you for taking the time to hit that like button. All right, there we go. Let's get this cast straight out there. Try to make a good cast that time. All right, so that was a decent cast that time. Hit right where I needed it to. Gonna let it sink down just for a second. All right, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, comments, make sure you get active in the chat. And also, please hit the like button on your way in. It really does help the channel. All right, so there is some activity out there, but they're just not cooperating. Man, I should at least catch a little small fish on this bait I'm throwing right now. I mean, it's a finesse, a very finesse sized. Goodness, I keep forgetting the name. It's not a wobblehead, but I'll show you guys what I'm throwing right now. So it's just a real small bait, scrounger. That's it. See, it has the little scrounger head bait. So you see the front of it. That's how it looks right there. And maybe about, I don't know, about 3 inches or so. All right, Lauren says, just got here. What's happening? Are you on the board yet? No, sir. We've been out here for about 15 minutes. Haven't really got anything going yet. But I know some of you guys want to see a fish, so let's see if I can go ahead and get a fish catch out of the way for you. And then, like I was explaining, all the rods and everything I showed you guys, we're going to be cycling through those, just making sure everything is set up and prepared for this coming tournament this weekend. I may be live for the tournament this weekend, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. All right, we are up to 16 likes. Can we get 4 more likes? And if you hit the like button, and well, as you hit the like button, just drop the number that you are once you hit the like button. So I see number 17. So who was that hit like at 17? All right. So Keelam says never seen that bait before. Okay. Yeah, it's a little scrounger head, and it just has just a little minnow style bait on the back of it. So let me just show it to you again, guys. It has a real nice wobbling action to it, and it makes that tail of it, as you see when you hold it still, it still kind of moves around, but that scrounger head makes that tail of it kind of go wild. And I kind of like that bite size right there, because you can catch smaller and bigger fish whenever you're throwing something like that. All right, let's see, let's check and see what do we have out here now, guys. All right, and it would be nice to catch a fish so I could check the drag out, make sure everything is set right and all that good stuff, and then we'll move on to the next rod. So I'm just going to cycle through all of these rods, like I was saying, guys. And actually, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 13 rods on the deck right now. So I'm going to narrow that down by the time that tournament time gets here. But right now, I just want to make sure I do have, and actually I did not want to cast that over there, but I do want to just have everything ready to rock and roll just in case. All right, so let's see. Key Lime says, oh, Big Mike Chronicle says, hey man, put that down. All right, shout out to Bass Fishing 336. He is number 17 on the like button. Really appreciate that. And then we have Jared is number 18. Really appreciate you guys for hitting the like button. It does help push the channel out a little bit more. All right, Big Mike Fishing Chronicles. What did he say? He said, put that down. All right, so he's saying, go ahead and throw something else. All right, Keelan says that should work to catch fish. Yeah, you would think so, but right now they're acting a little finicky. All right, Pale Rider says Bass just released their forward-facing sonar for 25 limits. What is that? For 2025 limits, right? Just one transducer at the what? Just one transducer at the front of the boat and 55 inches of total screens. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. So everybody's coming down with something. So if you guys missed it, I did do a live last night where I did have an angler from the NPFL on, and we kind of touched on that a little bit about the current changes that are taking place in the fishing industry, where they're starting to limit the use of so let me just show you what I have up here, guys. So I am up here running my live imaging right now as we speak. So I see a few fish out there, but one of the questions that came in, shout out to Tony from last night. He came in and I brought him up on the screen, but his point was that using forward-facing sonar does not make it easier to catch fish. And I didn't really, first I was like, I don't know if I agree with that one. But the more I thought about it, for the average angler, I would say he might be right because I'm seeing these things, but at the last tournament I was at, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I caught a lot more fish without using it, and that's just me. I'm not a professional angler or anything like that, but just for the average person, I can see how that are, how people are making that argument. All right, but yeah, so that's very interesting. All right, shout out to Pale Rider, really appreciate that. All right, Chris Phillips, he was number 19 on the likes. Really, really appreciate that, Chris. Really appreciate the support of the channel. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this down. And I see some fish out there that are kind of relating to the bottom. So let's just try that out real quick. So I showed you guys that I was using. I'm throwing that on a Micro Magic Ducket rod, and this is a 7-foot medium rod, 7-foot medium. This has 6-pound fluorocarbon. This braid that you see is 10-pound high vis yellow braid. That kind of helps me keep track of the line. And I put a leader on here that is probably a little over 20 feet so that the fish don't actually see that braid. And this is just a Lew's spinning reel right there, guys. I think it's a Mach 2 Lew's spinning reel. All right, let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? So Keelan says, I wish Bass would ban all fish finders. Go back to old school fishing. Bill Dance would agree. All right, yeah, there's a lot of people out there making that argument. All right, let me move this over. We're getting a little rocky right now. All right, so let's throw something back down on the bottom and see if I can get some of these fish out here. So I'm out here on a rocky point at a shoal marker. So now we're gonna switch up and throw a shaky head, just a green pumpkin worm, something very basic. Throw this out here and see if we can get any of those fish to commit to that. Just slowing it down a little bit. Sometimes they don't want to chase anything. Maybe they're down there on those rocks. All right. Troy says, looks like high pressure, no wind, tough bite. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see out there in the distance, but if I head out to that main lake, it's definitely windy out there. But where I just wanted to get away from the wind so you guys will be able to hear me and everything. But I was out there a little earlier, but decided to come in here and see what's going on with my people. See how you guys are doing out there. All right, we have a pontoon speeding by. That thing's going pretty fast. Look at that. For a pontoon, they have a big Evinrude on there. Looks like they might have an Evinrude 250 or 300 on the back of that. Oh, and another thing. How many of you guys are actually subscribed to the channel? If you are subscribed to the channel, type subscribed in the chat. I just want to see. Just want to kind of gauge the room. See who we have checking in, what kind of support the channel is getting, and if you guys like this type of content. If you have subscribed to the channel, just type subscribed in the chat. Just want to see who has actually subscribed. I see a lot of you are hitting the like button, so I really appreciate that. But let's just see who is subscribed. All right, let's see, guys. Let me hop back into the chat real quick. All right, let's see. And no crappy breaks. All right, what's going on? We have Jana Kennels back in. Came up on the live stream last night. Really, really appreciate it. It's always a fun time for me to have people coming up so that we can exchange some thoughts and ideas. And you and Chicken Hawk were getting on me. You're gonna have to come back for a round two. All right, we have Samuel Schultz. He says, "Money, what have I missed? Look at that cloud behind you." Huh. It is kind of an interesting shaped cloud, huh? But yeah, it's a real nice day out here, guys. A real pretty day. Not too windy as long as you don't head out to the main lake. All right, let's see. Keelan says, I can't afford a boat. I fish from the bank and catch them pretty good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can get on the bank and catch them a whole lot easier in some cases, especially depending on where you're fishing at. So you just never know. It's fishing. It's fishing, but it's all fun. I mean, I like fishing from the bank too. I haven't done it for a while, but I used to fish from the bank all the time. All right. Ronan says, what state are you in? I am in Georgia. I am down south in Georgia. All right. Jenna Kendall says, are you into BFS fishing at all? What is BFS fishing? What does that stand for? Let me know what that means, Jana. All right. Anthony says, like I said last night, just because you have it doesn't mean you get them. Like right now. Why I gotta be like that, Tony? Why you have to treat me like that? All right. Keelan says, what's your biggest bass you ever caught? He says mine is like 7 pounds, 9 ounces. So mine is eight. What was it? Eight, 857, I believe. So like 8.5 pounds is my biggest bass. All right, appreciate it, Chris. Chris said he hit me with the sub. Anthony hit me with the sub. Really appreciate it, guys. Lauren says subscribe. Love you long time. What's going on? All right, really appreciate it, Jana and Samuel Schultz. All right. Play two says got my like. All right, Jimmy Russell says, yes, beautiful day every day is a beautiful day above ground. That is so true. So true. All right, Pale Rider says, let's see, Bass didn't say anything about the opens, just the elites. All right, what's going on, Stephen Wimpy? He says, yo, bro, what up? Checking you out on lunch break, and he is a subscriber. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Anthony says that is bait finesse fishing. So I do have some finesse baits on here. What type of techniques would you say would you consider finesse fishing? All right, Patricia says Money Bass Diamond Invitational Tournament. Okay. What lake is that going to be on? And are you fishing that tournament? All right, really appreciate it. Pale Rider, hit me with the sub. All right, and Play Two. Play Two says he hit me with the sub. Really appreciate it, guys. All right, Jimmy Russell says his biggest bass is a 5.22. All right, guys. So these fish, even though I can see these fish, they are not wanting to cooperate. So what I'm going to do is just ease. Let me make one more cast, guys. You know how it is. One more cast. You know what's going on. I always got to hit them with the one more cast. So this will be one more cast. So this rod reel is set up. The drag is set good. I just rigged this line and everything on that. So if you take a look, it has some nice bright high vis yellow line, and I really like that on my shaky head. And I throw my shaky head on a spinning rod. This is a Ducket Black Ice 7.2 medium. Pretty nice rod. High vis yellow braided line, and this is either 15 or 20 pound line on my shaky head, and I have that tied using a uni knot, going to 12-pound fluorocarbon line. And I throw that on 12-pound because I throw this shaky head in a lot of cover and stuff like that at times. And when I fish offshore, I'll throw it in brush piles. I throw it directly into rocks, and I need to have that bigger line size on there so I can get the fish out of there. All right, let's see. Let's see. Samuel Schultz says mine is a 10-12. Okay. All right, big dog. You out here doing your thing. All right, Jimmy Russell says a Carolina rig. I have one in there, but I don't have that out on the deck right now. All right, Keelan says my favorite fisherman is Scott Martin. Oh, yes, Scott is definitely a good guy. He's been in the game for a long time. I follow a lot of his stuff on YouTube also. All right, so Alex's Bass Fishing Masterclass says, I see you, brother. Catch up. Enjoyed last night's podcast. Can't wait for the next one. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It looks like we might be doing another one today. Who knows? I mean, because someone who was it that just gave me that information about Bass just released their details. So it looks like everybody is kind of following suit and making announcements now. And the NPFL just kind of got ahead of the game, which and in a sense, it got them a lot of publicity because I think there are a lot of people, a lot more eyes on them right now at the moment because they did release that they're completely banning the use of forward-facing sonar. All right, let's see. Jenna Kendall says, has anyone caught a fish on one more cast? Oh, yes, definitely. I've won a tournament on one more cast. Oh, you know what? I just cast again, didn't I? I think I passed my one more cast rule. All right, so this is the last cast. Then we're gonna change it up. I already told you guys what I'm throwing right now on the shaky head, the setup and everything. All right, so Jimmy Russell says, do you like a Carolina rig? Oh yeah, Carolina rig does its thing in the correct conditions. Want to put that bead on there. If that water's a little more stained, then you put that bead and the bait itself, make a shorter tag in so that the as it's hitting across the rocks, those fish come over to investigate and they'll go ahead and take that bait. All right, Steve Wimpy says, I don't care what they say about forward facing sonar. I'm getting it. Gotta have it. All right, so Keelan says, what is forward facing sonar? So forward facing sonar is what this unit is. Let's see if I can show you right here. Can you see that? So this would be where the boat is at, and out here in the front, it's shooting out a signal out towards the front of the boat, and it lets us know if there's some type of structure, cover, some fish or anything out there. So I'm able to see some fish. I'm actually able to see some of these fish follow the bait, but they're not actually biting it. So that is what forward facing sonar is. All right, Patricia says that is your tournament on Lake Lanier. $10,000. Wait a second. $10,000. Wait a minute. I know you're not saying it's a $10,000 entry fee. But you never know these days. All right, let's see what Play 2 says. Good luck, buddy. Have a great rest of your day. Subscribed. All right, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And as you do that, just put the number that you are once you hit that like button. So right now we're at 31 likes. So who is like number 32? If you are like number 32, put 32 in the chat after you hit that like button. All right, Keelan says $10,000. Are you crazy? I can do maybe 100. Yes, I agree with that. Maybe 100, but yeah, I'm not paying a $10,000 entry fee. Now that's higher than pro level. Okay, I told you guys that was the last cast with this bait. All right, so now let's put this to the side for a second. What should I throw next? I know somebody has already requested that I throw the Chad Shad. All right, shout out to Jimmy Russell. He is like number 32. All right, good deal. He said, just kidding. All right, let's see. I'll cover some water and let's go ahead and throw a crankbait, guys. Let's see what size line this is. So this is 10-pound line, 10-pound fluorocarbon line. This is a Ducket Zeus rod. As you can see, I have a lot of Ducket rods. Some people like them, some people love them, some people hate them. It's all that good stuff. All right, so this is a 7-foot medium cranking rod, and I have this on a Lew's speed spool. This is the $99 Lew's speed spool on 10-pound Bass Pro fluorocarbon. I believe that's what this is. Yep, 10-pound Bass Pro. I guess that's XPS fluorocarbon. So now what we're going to do is just start covering some water, guys. So these fish that I have found in this location are not cooperating, but let's go ahead and just throw the crankbait over there, and then we're going to spin around and just start making some moves. And I'll just kind of move the camera around to a better position in just a second. I was hoping we'd catch something on this point right here, but that's the way the game goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, let's go ahead and move you guys over here. So all we're doing now is just covering water with this crankbait. So I'm going to be on the move, guys. And I don't know if you can, well, you can't see it right now, but on up ahead of us is going to be a big cove. So we're going to fish through that entire cove and then get to some docks. Once I get to some docks, I'll change out the baits again and start fishing something different. And then, of course, I'll continually stay in the chat if I can. Let's see, guys. I just want to make sure I keep the view pretty good so you guys can see what's going on. All right, let's see. Keelan says sonar stuff is very interesting. Jenna Kennel says, money, I need to show you some of this BFS gear. Throwing a 1/16 crankbait on a bait caster. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. Keelan says, love lose reels. Jimmy Russell says it's called fishing, not catching. Hey, well, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm fishing. But again, I told you guys I'm out here just making sure I get all my gear right, checking my drag, making sure I have the brake set correctly on everything, so that when Saturday comes, and actually let's move this back on this side, so that when Saturday comes, we will be ready to roll. All right, so who was watching the live when I was out here last time and I actually knocked my whole camera setup in the lake? Did any of you guys see that? All right, Willie 8 says, "Where are you fishing at?" I'm out here on Lake Lanier. All right, Keelan says, "What kind of boat do you own?" I own a Nitro Z20. Whoa, okay. Now I'll show you guys something on this forward facing sonar. I just saw a very, very big brush pile out here that I may be able to catch something from. All right, so now let's slow it down. Let's take a look at what I just saw on the screen. And then from there, we'll kind of make a decision on what we're going to throw. Okay, I just saw a fish in a ditch over here. All right, let's see if I can get the screen to where you guys can see it too. All right, so let's slow it down. There we go. Can you guys see that right there? That right there, there's a lot of fish sitting right on top. I can see fish swimming right in front of it. So we're going to ease out there. And what I'm going to start off with is I don't want to pull them right off of that cover right away. So I'm going to start off with a shaky head, something that moves kind of slow, and just see. Sometimes those bigger fish are down in the bottom of the brush piles, and that one is prime. That one is ideal. Oh my goodness, I could probably get those to hit a top water bait. All right, they're sitting at about 80 feet out now. I'm going to get them into about 70 feet. All right, so let's go ahead and spot lock right there, casting straight out that way. So I don't have my target lock on right now. I just took that off right before I came out here because I need to send that in to get it replaced. All right, so let's see. Did you guys see the that screenshot that I just showed you? Were you guys able to see that cover, the structure and the fish that were on there? All right, so what I'm going to test them out with, I just want to see what type of movement those fish do. I'm going to throw this chrome Sammy out there and see if I can get anything to come up. All right, so let's see. Anthony said he just saw the structure. He didn't see the fish. All right, so I'm going to see if I can show you guys the fish. All right, there we go. Let me get lined up on them. All right, let me ease in on them a little bit more. I didn't see any fish followed or anything like that or come out of that brush pile, but I can see them relating right to the top of it. So let's get a good cast on it. Hopefully, yeah, that was a decent cast. All right, I saw a little bit of movement, but nothing that wanted to commit to it. So now what I'm going to do is just throw that little finesse swim bait back out there. All right, so let's see. Keelan says, yes, we saw the brush pile. Let's catch one. What's going on, DL Peck Fishing? He says, what happened to your target lock? So the cable on there, it had like a little pinch point, and that just came from just normal use. So when I called it in, if you guys are having any issues with those, you want to go ahead and call them immediately. You don't want to wait and then they say your warranty is expired or anything like that. But yeah, so mine was just under normal use, right where the cables come out of that motor at the top of it. It had a pinch point in there where the shielding was kind of coming apart. All right, so let's go back to this little finesse bait, guys. So we're gonna try that right there. So I showed you guys that cover that I'm targeting. All right, what's going on, Ryan? Member of the Money Team. Though, whenever you guys hear me talk about the Money Team, those are the members of the channel. Please make sure you guys hit the like button on your way in. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have a great time on this channel. All right, let's see. Ryan says, bro, just watched last night's stream. Looks like we will have the first senior citizen pro pass tour. Oh, why does it have to be like that? Not the senior citizen. He says, cross those eyes, MoneyBass. Take no prisoners. All right. Shout out to Texas Noop. I see you in the chat. All right. Let's go ahead and take another look at this brush pile, guys. All right. So it's sitting at about 60 feet out. So it's not really that far out in front of the boat. All right. So that cast landed at about 90 feet. Let me go ahead and just lock back in. I let it sink down just a little bit. I pop it to get that scrounger head in action, get it rotating a little bit. And now let's see if I can get it to come right above that brush pile, guys. If anything, we'll come out here and grab it. Texas Noop says, money, not sure if you heard about the news with Bassmaster. Go ahead and put some of those details in there for me. You guys see I am out here fishing. And somebody did mention that there was some news that came out with Bassmaster. So if somebody could put some of those details in the chat for me. That is very interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah, it doesn't look like I'm getting these fish to bite either. Let's try one more time. One more cast with this little finesse swim bait. All right, I can see it falling right out there, right where it needs to be. A fish came up to it. Let me see if he wants to commit to it. They're following it, guys, but they're just not hitting it. Yep, I see them. They got the eyeballs on it. They followed it out. And now they're turning around and heading back. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and throw that shaky head straight into that cover. All right, and I already told you guys when I'm throwing this shaky head on. All right, let's see. Texas Snoop says Bassmaster has put out that in 2025 the pros can only use one live transducer, one electric motor, and total of 55 inches of graph of screen size. Okay. All right. All right. Everybody's coming out with it. So who are we waiting on now? We're just waiting on MLF, right, to make an announcement. Keelam says, well, they need to take away all sonars, in my opinion. Hey, yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm saying, Keelam. If they're gonna get rid of it, why don't they go off full force and let us see what real old school fishing is like? I mean, I think that's what the MPFL, if they would have went ahead and pushed it a little bit further, would have been the closest to doing that. All right, so Ryan says use bait pop. It works wonders. Okay, all right. Texas Nuke says one live transducer. Okay, just one live transducer. Who is that? Nuh-huh. Says use chicken as a bait. You'll catch a blackfish. Oh my goodness. You'll catch catfish with that too. How about that? All right, so let's see. All right, so we're out at 70 feet. Let's go out there. We hit right at 70 feet. So now this is going directly down into that brush pile, right into the thick of it. So it's possible that we could get hung up a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Okay, the likes are looking pretty decent. Somebody just hit me with the 35th like. Who is number 36? Somebody, if you hit the like button and you're number 36, let me see, guys. All right, there we go, guys. Ah, no, he got me hung up in there, guys. I was telling you that he could possibly get me hung up in there. Let's see if I'll be able to get him out of there. Ah, If I don't get him out, what I'll do is let this spot rest and just come back again. So these fish are kind of active. But let's just see if I can get him out of here. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I just give him a little slack and kind of let the fish pull to kind of loosen itself up out of there. Let's see. Let's move it back just a little bit, guys. So we're sitting right on top of it now. And no, this one pulled me down deep into I can feel the branches and everything like that getting pulled out. So I probably have to break this line. Let's see. Yeah, that's a done deal. That one won that fight. Ah, lost him. Lost him, guys. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? All right, let's see. Let's see. Keelan says almost. Yes, sir. Almost had him. All right, so let's go ahead and retie and get this set back up. So with the shaky head, I do use that a lot. So let's go ahead and take a quick break and get this retied. Ah. All right, here we go, guys. The Vance Jordan says, dude, I'm going to Joe. How do you pronounce that? Joe Cassie tomorrow. Have you ever been? I don't believe I have ever been there, but I heard they have some really um, big spotted bass on that lake. So it is a place that I eventually want to go and check out. All right, Texas Snoop says, Money, what brand line do you use? So I'll show you guys as I get tied on. So this high vis yellow braid, I don't really um, stick to a certain brand of braided line. Um, but I believe this braid that I'm currently using is Yozuri high vis yellow. And then what I like to use for my leader is this right here, 12-pound Seaguar line. All right, let's see. Naha says, do you need a fishing license to fish? Yes, sir. In most places, I do believe you will need to have a fishing license to fish. If they catch you without one, it might hit you up with a nice little fine. Yes, you definitely want to get your fishing license, and that's if you are, I believe it's 16 and older. Once you turn 16, I believe you have to get a fishing license, guys. All right, and like I said, for me, I like using a uni knot, a double uni knot. Whenever I tie my braid, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and I just put 4 twists on each side of that double uni knot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just cinch both of those down. Pull them together. Make sure that knot is tight. And then when you cut off the tag ends, you can pretty much cut those tag ends as close as possible. But you want to make sure you do not nick your existing line. And I keep all my little extra line down here and put it in the trash can. Don't throw it in the lake. All right, there we go. So that knot should hold tight right there. Just want to check it out in case I get that 5-pounder, 6-pounder on there. All right, let's see. The Vance Jordan says, that's exactly how you pronounce it, bud. And let me know if you ever want to go and we'll catch some donkeys. All right. Yeah, man. We want to catch a few donkeys out there. Sounds like a good day. All right. So now I'm retying, got that on there, and I make my leader. The way that I measure my leader is once that knot gets to the top of this reel, I take the line coming from the spool and just make it a little bit past the butt of that handle. This is a 7'2" rod, so that'll put this at about about 15 feet. So I make about a 15-foot leader on here. And that's so whenever I do cast offshore, like you guys just saw me cast into that brush pile, I don't want those fish to see that braided line. So I want to make sure that that full cast um, is able to make it all the way out as far as it can, and that the fish are not seeing that braided line whenever it is coming through that school of fish. All right, who do we have here? Have somebody else calling. Let's see. Let's see. All right, all right. What are you guys talking about in the chat now? Let's see. Is that Marson? Says, did you catch any today? We've been rolling for about 50 minutes, guys. I spent too much time in that first spot getting everything checked out. So the short answer is no. We haven't caught anything yet. Let me see. He says, who is that? Go Army. All right. Says, let's see. I need someone to teach me how to fish. I've gone 4 times and caught a ton of nothing. But that's an interesting point. Even though you caught a ton of nothing, did you enjoy the day? Did you enjoy the process? What do you think? To let us know, did you still enjoy the day in the process? Because if you take a look around, you could be at work, you could be at home, but just look at the scenery. Look at the view, the experience that you're having. So I'm hanging out with my peoples on YouTube, meeting some new friends, some new people tuning in, subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button. Hopefully everybody has already hit the like button. All right. So Go Army says, I still love the process. There you go. That's what it's about. I mean, yeah, so I haven't caught anything yet. As you guys saw just a minute ago, I had one on, but before I made that cast, I told you guys I was throwing right into the thick of that brush pile. And so that fish was like, hey, you threw that right into my home. So it decided to eat it, but I wasn't able to get him to the boat. So let's see, guys. So we're going back with the shaky head. Which one was I throwing on that? I was throwing a green pumpkin shaky head. So I already have these rigged up. And that's just a regular Z-Man TRD. I change it up every now and then. I use Zoom, I use Z-Man, use a few different things. But I keep those rigged up and ready to go. All right, and for the knot that I use, pretty much all of the time my bait's on is going to be a polymer knot. Quick and easy, and that knot is done. All right, and just have to get that hook in there just right. And let's just take a look and see. Maybe those fish have had a chance to get some rest and they forgot about their buddy that just got stuck in the mouth. I'll take a look and see if maybe I'll be able to catch another one. I'll probably just drop a drop shot straight down on them. All right, let's see. All right, I see you guys having some fun in the chat. Lauren said, if you start talking about the view, you know the fishing is bad. Is it the fishing or the fisherman? You just never know. All right, let's see. Kiss the ring. What is going on? Says, do you prefer bait casters or spinning reels? I prefer both. It really just depends on what I'm actually throwing. On a shaky head like this, I prefer throwing on a spinning reel. I used to throw it on a bait caster, but now I just like the sink rate, being able to watch the line and making sure I keep that bait on the bottom with the shaky head. So, but as you see, I have, let's see, a bait caster, a spinning rod, a spinning rod, a bait caster, a bait caster. So pretty much it's even on that side. On this side over here, let's take a look. How many bait casters do I have on that side? 1, 2, 3, 4 bait casters on that side and one spinning rod. So right now it would appear as though I prefer bait casters because I have more of those on the deck. But it really just depends on what bait I'm throwing. All right, let's see. Let's just get caught up real quick. All right, Cat, let's kiss the ring says if it were all about catching, it wouldn't be called fishing. It'd be called catching. That's true. So true. All right, Go Army says, I'm listening. Last time I went to a recently stocked pond and still got skunked. No way. Come on, man. You can't go to a stocked pond and not catch anything. That that's not even right. That's not. They should have gave they should have gave you your money back if that happened. All right, Kiss the Ring says I can ruin a day of fishing if there's only bait casters on the boat. I'm 100% dedicated to the Daiwa spinning reels now. Okay, all right, man. You see this weight coming in here, guys? Has the boat kind of shaking? There's another boat out there in the passing by. All right, let's see. All right, let's hop back up here. I may still be sitting directly on top of that same brush pile. If I am, then I'm gonna pick up a shaky head and drop it straight down there to him. So let's see. Let's take a look and make sure I get everything set back up right. Whoa, I've drifted way off from where I was at. Let's spin around and take a look from the other side. So yeah, we drifted way off course. All right, so how's everything looking, guys? How are we looking with the likes? Has everybody hit the like button for me? If you have already hit the like button, well, actually, if you have not hit the like button, could you hit that like button for me? And let's see, hold on, let me change let me change things around. Hit that like button for me, and just put the number that you are when you hit that like. It really does help push the channel out there, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, hanging out with me while I'm out here trying to chase a few fish. All right, so coming up on this brush pile from a different perspective, it is sitting right out here now. So now let's try, uh, actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this right here. Does anybody know what this bait is? In the chat, shout out to Go Army, number 41 on the likes. All right, does anybody know what this bait is? If you do, drop it in the chat. So what I'm gonna do is get out here and throw this just past that cover where those fish are at. Let it sink down and then burn it over the top of those fish, and then we'll see if they'll come up and hit it. So it's sitting at about 60 feet out right now, which is a pretty decent distance. Let me get that lined up a little better. All right, there we go. I hit that right at about 90 feet. Now let me get it lined back up again. There we go. All right, they didn't want that either. They didn't want that either. These guys are just not cooperating. Didn't want that either. All right, let's see. There we go. Anthony says the Seville Magic Swimmer. Shout out to Alexandria Corbett. All right, really appreciate you for tuning in and checking out the channel. We're just out here having a little fun. I think Mr. Whipstick Wimpy is in the chat too, trying to steal some of my techniques and tactics out here. All right, so let's drop back down. I'm gonna go back to the other side of this brush pile and just hit it from a different angle again. And then we're gonna start back moving. Is anyone gonna be fishing this weekend? Do you guys have any tournaments or anything coming up? Tell me what's going on your in your neck of the woods. Staying off the grid says fish finders are for amateurs. He says just use fishing magic. Use your instincts. Modern fishermen. Go hit the bank. Do you see the bank? There's the bank right there. Look at this. I can cast right to the bank. Bam. Landed right there at the bank. I'm probably about, what is that, about 70 feet away from the bank? Not even that, probably about 60 feet. All right, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so I have, like I was telling everybody, I have my shallow water side. On this side, these are the shallow water baits. I kind of walk through those. And on this side over here is my offshore side. So that's my electronic side. So far, what we have done is just done the electronic side, which isn't working out too well. So we're gonna ease over into some uh shallow water side in just a second. I'm gonna throw this shaky head right back out there directly into that brush pile again. Let's see if I get it in there that time. There we go. All right. Hit that right at 70 feet. So let's just go ahead and spot lock in and see if the fish want to cooperate once again. Maybe this time, I'll be ready and I can get one of these fish to the boat. So that last one, for anybody just tuning in, the fish came in. The fish was like, hey, I'll take a bite of that. But I wasn't able to get him to the boat. All right, here we go, guys. Five minutes to catch a fish or I'll slap my grandma. Oh my goodness, that does not sound like a good deal right there. Go Army says 5 minutes. I'm working on 5 months. Crackhead mechanic says fishing on the bank is for people who can't afford a boat. Also, fish finders are great. I've done both, and fishing off a boat is way more fun, and you usually catch more fish. Man, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I mean, I did enjoy fishing from the bank, walking through the woods, and going through different areas, going across rocks, and trying to find that perfect spot. All of that was like part of the adventurous part of fishing from the bank for me. So it was just a different experience, but it was all fun for me. But as far as catching more fish from the boat versus from the bank, man, sometimes it is definitely hit or miss. All right, so I'm about to put the shaky head down and grab the crankbait and start back rolling. All right, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Crackhead Mechanic says, I like your vids. All right, really appreciate it. Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not already subscribed. We do our live streams in the studio every week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. And also, I try to get out here on the water like this and do these lives at least once a week. I will be at a tournament this coming up weekend at Lake Hartwell. I may be live at that time, so you guys can tune in and watch me the same way. But if I do, I probably will not be talking as much because I'll be more focused on the tournament at that point. All right, so let's see. So we got the shaky head set up. I'm gonna throw this crankbait just a little bit more. I just want to make sure that the drag and everything, that it casts good, everything is ready to roll for the tournament this weekend. and then I will probably go to my spinner bait. I'll throw a spinner bait next, and once I get out of this, finish fishing this cove. Once I get to these docks, you guys will see some docks coming up in just a minute. Once I get to these docks, then I'll probably switch and start throwing like that Chad Shad or maybe that mag draft. My wacky rig, skip that under the docks a little bit. And again, what we're doing today, the mission of today is just to rotate through all of these rods that I've shown you guys on the deck. All right, so let's get rolling, guys. So now we're about to head into a cove. I guess you guys can kind of see those docks over there. So we're gonna work this entire cove. So I'm gonna move fast through this cove and just throw this crankbait. Maybe halfway through the cove or something, I may pick up the spinner bait and start throwing that. I just want to make sure I can get some accurate cast, make sure everything is set up right and feels good with that, because that may be one of the baits that I throw during this weekend's tournament. And if so, I want to make sure that everything is locked and loaded and ready to roll. All right, Crackhead Mechanic says, I hope you win the tournament. That would be awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm actually not looking to win this tournament. What I'm looking to win is something that we call the Mega Bass. So it is a regular tournament where you bring in your best 5 fish. But if you bring in a 7-pound fish or better, then you will win. It's probably around $4,000 or something like that. So I'd rather have that right now than actually win the tournament. So that is going to be what I'm focusing on. That's why you guys see that I have so many different rods out here. Generally, I do not have this many rods on the deck, but this shallow water side, the rods that I showed you guys is probably what I will be focusing on for this weekend. See some nice laydowns coming up over here. Let me show you guys over here. So we're running this bank right here. So you see all these laydowns, those fallen trees that are coming into the water. So I'm just throwing this crankbait and just running that right along the edges of those laydowns, guys. All right, what are you guys in the chat talking about? Staying off the grid says, I've never used a fish finder, never will. 15 pounders on the bank while fishermen on the boat were cussing. Go ahead, spend that money on a boat. I'll invest in gold and silver. There you go. All right, sounds like a good plan. All right, let's see. Staying off the grid. I am the greatest fisherman alive. Oh, you have to make sure you're beating your chest while you say that. All right, let's see. By the way, grandma just got slapped. Oh my goodness, staying off the grid. Appreciate you for swinging through. Anthony says, Money, I know you just playing around today, but for most people, your first hour is pretty common. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm just kind of out here playing around, having some fun, spending more time talking than I am fishing. But really, what I think is I'm not going to get to anything productive until I go through this entire cove and get over to where those docks are at. So, like I said, right now I'm just cycling through all of these rods. I just want to make sure everything is set up, make sure the reels are running good, make sure my line doesn't have any nicks in it and stuff like that. Right now, guys, I'm sitting in 4 feet of water. So, more than likely, there won't be any fish caught at this very moment. But you know what we can do? I'm going to move out a little bit deeper on this point. So, this point actually comes out a long ways. And it seems like this would be a good area for some fish to be set up on right out here at the end of this point. And actually, I think I was right. So now what I'm doing is scanning around using my live imaging, guys. and I do see some fish out there. I see a nice brush pile. So let's see, and that is about 10 feet down. So let's see if those fish, because I'm not seeing them suspended too much. So let's drop something down there, something I can drop right on the head. Those fish are 70 feet out right there. All right, there we go. All right, so let's take a look and see what we can do with this right here. They're about 70 feet out. What are you guys talking about in the chat? All right, Nolan says, catching any biggins? I'm catching a nunnins right now. Maybe one of these days I will come out here. But if you guys watch the live battle of the anglers, those are days where you will see us out here and we're focusing on catching fish at that point. Right now, I just wanted to bring you guys along with me while I'm getting all my gear set up, making sure like all my knots are tied, my drag is set, the rods and reels that I plan on using for this weekend's tournament, making sure all of those are good to go. Anything that I'm thinking may play into this weekend's tournament, let me just move this over here. Anything that I'm thinking may play into this weekend's tournament, I just want to make sure that those rods and reels are set up and already ready to roll. So if I do need to reach into the rod locker to pick it up, that I won't have to really do anything too special to get those ready. All right, so what I'm gonna do, because of the direction of the wind, I'm gonna reposition the boat so that I don't have to continually fight against the wind, pulling the boat in a direction that I don't want it to be moving. Then once I get that realigned, I can pull up the screen and show you guys on my electronics what I'm taking a look at. All right, Texas Noob says, Money, could you give us a rundown on how you prepare for tournaments, pre-fishing and such? All right, so the first step in my pre-fishing, well, not the first step. While I'm at home, I use my I'll go to my boat and just pull up my mapping, and I'll look and find like ledges, channel bends, areas like that where I think the fish will be based on the structure from the mapping. From there, the next thing that I do is I'll come out to a lake like I'm doing right now. This is not the lake that I'll be fishing for the tournament. Let's say that this lake that I'm on right now, a spinnerbait is not something that a fish will be biting. So I may not be expecting to catch any fish if I come out here to throw that, but I will plan on throwing that for this coming up weekend, knowing that I will come to this lake and still throw that spinnerbait. I will fish it in areas that look similar to the lake that I will be fishing, so that I can make sure that I'm able to get my cast right, because each cast, the drag, the and things like that that need to be set on that reel may need to be set a little different if you plan on skipping docks, if you want longer cast or more accurate cast, things like that. So I concentrate on getting my gear and equipment and everything set up. um looks like a nice little ledge right there. Whoa, and there are fish just tucked right behind that too. All right, so what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just drifting. I'm just letting the boat drift, and there's a nice ledge right here that the boat is drifting over. And when we get over that, then I'll go ahead and make a cast. But so that's step two, is to make sure that I get my gear and stuff like that ready. A lot of times you may not be able to go to a lake and start preparing your gear, but you still want to get everything tied on, get your baits and everything organized, things that you plan on using. Put that in an area where it's just quick and fast, to where if you need to change baits, change rod, change reels, anything like that, that you can access that quickly. Um, so I would say that's my preparation before I even go to the lake. So I have an idea of what I already plan on throwing, the type of structure, cover, and areas of the lake that I plan on fishing. Then I will go to that lake, and I will scan around for some offshore places. Like if it's a lake where I know I'm going to be fishing shallow, I'll still scan, but I will scan shallower water, And what I'm looking for is just to find some good cover or some good structure or something like that that the fish may be relating to. All right, I'm still scanning, guys. Okay, there we go. There's that cast I was looking for. All right, bear with me. I'm trying to get lined up. All right, so that is actually back this way. Let's see if I got it. Oh, perfect cast. All right, I watched two fish follow this bait straight down. Just because they followed it doesn't mean that they're going to cooperate, but we'll see. But so yeah, so that's what I do before I even go to the lake. Once I get to the lake, I will go in the places that I have marked on my electronics that I want to go and fish. I will go and scan those areas. I'll look and see if maybe it's a rocky bottom, see if there's brush piles there, see what type of cover and structure are there, and also if I'm able to see any fish. I will try to find locate as many areas as I can like that, so that tournament day, let's say if I find 20 areas that I think are pretty good, and I have maybe made some cast to that area, to those areas, and caught some decent fish, then I'll kind of put those areas in order of what time of day, um, what bait I think I should use, and things like that. So I'll kind of have a game plan already drawn out. So now when that blast off comes and I'm flying across that lake, I'm going to spot number one, staying there for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on what type of activity is going on. If the fish are active or not, pack up, run to the next spot. So that's kind of the way that I prepare for my tournaments. Hopefully that was informative and answered your question. All right, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And guys and gals, if you are enjoying the channel, please make sure you hit the like button. And if you have not already subscribed, type subscribe in the chat if you have subscribed, or if you subscribe today, or if you are going to subscribe to the channel. I just want to get an idea. I want to read the room. I want to see who we have participating in the chat, guys. All right, so that was a good cast, but the fish didn't cooperate. Let's try it one more time. All right, now I see a bunch of suspended fish out there. So yeah, I'm seeing fish, but as we talked about with that forward facing sonar, people always say you can find them, but it doesn't mean they're gonna bite. I mean, people don't like hearing it, but it is so true. In cases like this for me, especially this time of year, if I was to not use my electronics and start running the bank and just doing different techniques like that, it would probably be more productive. But what I'm hmm, all right, I landed in the structure and I got caught up in the structure. So now let's see if I can get this back, or if it's another okay, I got it back. Let's go ahead and stay there. So if I got hung up in something and got it loose, there could be a fish that's down there watching it. So let's see. Ryan says put a little scent on it. Give them something to sniff on. Yeah, sometimes I use JJ's Magic. Then there's another thing that I use, like Smelly Jelly. There's Spike It. It's a few different ones. All right, so now I'm just gonna cut straight across. So there's the cove right here that I was gonna fish, but instead of doing that, I'm gonna cut straight across to that point over there where those rocks are at, and that way it'll put me a little closer to the area where I actually wanted to target. Because what I wanted to do was, by the time I got over there to the area that I actually wanted to fish, I wanted to have already cycled through a lot of these rods and everything, just to make sure that the line is good, all of the brakes are set right, knots are good, all of that good stuff. Let's go ahead and ease on over here, guys. Texas Snoop said, yeah, those big girls like perfume and lipstick. All right. So we're shooting straight across over here to that rocky point right there. All right, guys. Really appreciate everybody for hitting the like button. If you already hit the like button, type like in the chat if you have already hit the like button for me. Really appreciate the support of the channel. And I keep throwing this shaky head and I'm kind of wasting time. All right. Shout out to Texas Snoop. Really appreciate it. Hit me with the like. Wow. Okay. I see some fish in the trees. About 60 feet of water. Those fish are suspended about 35 feet. I don't really want to target those fish right now. It's a little bit of a tougher style of fishing. All right, who is that? The Burners. All right, let's see. All right, appreciate everybody for hitting the like button. We got Texas Snoop. We have Ryan. We have Joe Mama. Joe Mama even hit the like button. Pale Rider. The Burner season says, "Is this New York?" No, this is New Georgia. New Georgia. All right, let's see. Texas Snoop says, "What is the weight of the shaky head?" All right, I'm throwing a 1/4 ounce. Shout out to Tom. Hit me with the like button. Really appreciate that, guy. So I am throwing a 1/4 ounce. I pretty much throw a 1/4 ounce all the time. Um, and I just like that 1/4 ounce. It has a good sink rate for deeper water, and it's light enough to throw in shallower water too. All right, so there are some suspended fish right there on this point, guys. Let's see if I can get these fish to come up and hit something on top water. Let's see. What do you guys think? Will it happen? Will it happen? Man, the fish just disappeared on me. All right, some nice structure down there on the bottom. So we'll take a look at that. All right, let's see. What do we have going on in the chat? The burning season says, "I'm going out tomorrow. I'll get you some of the big brown girls." All right, sounds good. Tom says, "Same here. Always the 1/4 ounce." Says, "Hey, Money, are you fishing the Georgia Bass Trail this year? They have a North and South division." No, sir. I'm not fishing too much of anything else this year. I'll be fishing the On the Water Battle of the Angler Lives. You guys will see that. All right, Anthony says later, money. I have a meeting to jump to. Don't they know you're watching fishing, and that you'd rather be fishing? Hopefully, the meeting is on the water with everybody having a fishing pole in their hand, right? All right, so this is a nice rocky point. So I'm going to throw this shaky head out here and just take it nice and slow. The burn season says, all joking aside, you need a trip up here. You would fall in love with catching some of those smallmouth. I know that's what you're talking about. What lake is it again? The burning season? What lake is it that you're referring to? All right, let's keep on moving. All right, we're gonna speed it up again. So I went through the crankbait, the shaky head. Now let's make sure that my spinner bait is set up correctly. Make sure everything is good to go with that. All right, let's see. The burning season says all New York lakes are amazing, but Lake Ontario is the best for smallies. Did you see the new New York state record? Nope, I did not. 12.39 pounds. It's a pretty nice sized fish. What is the biggest that you've caught up there? What is your best fish? All right, so next up is let me see. So I've done this finesse swim bait. So as I'm going through these rods, I'm just moving them to the back of the boat, getting them off of the deck. And like I said, the purpose of this right now, let me spot lock again. The purpose of this is to make sure these rods are ready to go. There's no kinks in the line or anything like that. The drag and everything is set right. So if I do need to take these out of the rod locker, these rods more likely just be in the rod locker for this tournament. But as I use them, I will kind of put them out of the way. So I've already done these two. These two are cleared and good to go. I'm going to do that spinner bait next. And yeah, one of the ones that I like throwing, even though I haven't caught anything with it, is the Chad Shad. Have any of you, do any of you throw the Chad Shad? And if you have you caught anything with it yet? I haven't thrown it enough to catch anything with it yet, guys. But that has not stopped me from still wanting to keep using it. All right, so this is the wacky rig. So I have not used this one yet. So I'll leave this one up here. Next up is my spinner bait. All right, so on this spinner bait, let's just go over the setup on that real quick. So this is a mini me spinner bait. So the spinner bait itself is a smaller profile. You see that red hook in the back? That is my stinger hook. I have some chartreuse blades on here. I am going after largemouth bass. So for me, I kind of like using that chartreuse color on a lot of things whenever I'm fishing for largemouth. The line size on this, I'm not sure what line size that is. Feels pretty thick. This might actually be um, this might actually be 20-pound line, guys. But I throw this in laydowns and things like that. I throw this directly in cover. So I probably did put a larger size line on here. Um, so let's just assume this is 20-pound fluorocarbon on here. Then I have that on this lose reel once again, a Ducket Micro Magic rod, and this is a 7.3 medium heavy. So that is the full setup on that, guys. All right, let's see. All right, the burning season says an 8-pound largie, 6.8-pound smallie. Okay. Our fish are getting huge. Most tourneys are in the upper 20s to win. Springtime 30 plus on most lakes. We have so many 3 to 4 pounders here. We don't even put 2 pounders in the live well. Oh my goodness. That definitely sounds like a good time. All right, guys. I'm gonna cover water. Like I said, we're working our way to these docks. Once we get to the docks is when I pretty much think that the bite is gonna pick up. So I'm checking out my drag, making sure my brakes and everything are set right, making sure and everything is set right to where I can pick this up, make some good casts without backlashing. All right, there we go. So yes, I'm able to cast this. Yeah, I can get some decent distance on that. So that is about the distance that I'll need. I'm not going to be making extremely long casts with the spinner bait. I'll be running this alongside docks. And let's see, can you guys see these laydowns right here? Can you see them? So like areas like that, hopefully I'll find some that are in deeper water during the tournament, because those are the type of areas that I'll be targeting with this. And like I said, I have that larger pound line on there. So in the case that once I do hook that 7-pounder, I will be able to get that fish back out of the cover. All right. So yeah, so this right here feels good. It's casting good, coming through the water good. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm moving pretty fast. I'm covering some water right now. So now I want to I've pretty much gone through the things that I wanted to test. Oh, I have one more. So I want to test out that buzz jet because I have it on a cranking rod. And in the past, I think I've actually thrown that on something that has a little more what they call backbone to it. But it is a treble hook bait, although it is a treble hook topwater bait. But I just want to get a feel for that, make sure I can fish it the way that I want at the speed that I want, all that kind of stuff. All right, so yeah, the spinner bait's feeling pretty good when I'm casting it. All right, what are you guys talking about in the chat? Let's see. Delta Bass is my lake here. What is that? In the sip has shad. So it's the whole white spinner bait and chatterbait are money. See what I did there? Oh yeah, I see what you did there. So let's see. So Delta Bass, is that the kind of thing that you're talking about right there? Is that what would catch them? Got that chartreuse and white. All right, so Timothy Turner says, are you on the south end of Lanier? Where is your next tourney? Yes, I'm down on the south end, and my next tournament is going to be on Lake Hartwell. So I mentioned that last night during the live stream, and some of the guys that are going to be competing in the tournament were in the live stream. So I was like, hey, we were talking to an NPFL pro was on the live stream last night, and he said he's done pretty good on Hartwell. So I was like, well, hey, give me along with the other guys that are fishing this tournament coming up some pointers. What would you say is your fishing report for this coming weekend? So he gave us a few tips, and I'm gonna ask some of the guys if any of them are planning on using any of the tips that he gave. I might, I just might. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. Well, for me, I kind of have an idea of what I'm planning to do. I may adjust my game plan just a little bit, but really, I'm just gonna be focusing on throwing baits um, that I have generally caught bigger fish on. All right, so can you guys see this row of docks out here? All of those docks, they're way on the other side of the cove. So that's why I'm moving so fast right now. I just want to cover water and get to that other side. All right, Delta Bass says, yep, that's it. All right, the burning season says, all that chartreuse with some strips of blue on the top wreck smallies in the fall. Okay, all right, sounds good. So yeah, hopefully, what I'm going to be looking for. How's the wind, guys? I just came back into an area, so we've been kind of away from the wind, hiding in the wind. But now I'm getting to some areas where the wind is kind of hitting me a little bit. And this area, so right now the bank that I'm looking at, it has a lot of rocks and laydowns and stuff like that. Let me just show you guys. But it's out of the water. If that was under the water, then it looks to be some good looking productive water to fish if it was in the water, that type of structure, those rocks and things that are down there. But I can see where they end, and they don't really come out into the water far enough to where I think it would be holding any fish. Right now I'm in 14 feet of water. The water temp is 79 degrees, so it has dropped down a little bit. All right, let's see. All right, Texas Snoop hit with the one. Appreciate it. So you guys can still hear me okay. So yeah, it's a little more windy where I'm at right now, but I'm speeding up. Can you guys tell that the boat's moving pretty fast? So I have the trolling motor on 8.5 right now. So I'm moving. I'm just trying to hurry up and get all the way to the back here, and then I'm gonna change these baits up. And there's a nice little shady laydown back there. Even though it's shallow, it's a good hiding spot for a largemouth. So let's check it out and see. All right, didn't see anything. Follow it out. Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about a spinnerbait. I threw this thing right inside of all those branches and let it kind of bang off of those branches as it came through there. All right, speed that up. So this reel that I'm using is a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio reel. I generally like faster reels, especially whenever I'm trying to cover water, because I'll throw that bait, I'll fish it slow through the cover that I'm targeting, and then it allows me to speed it back up, hurry up and get it back to the boat before I pass that cover and just get that bait right back over there again, so I can make 2 or 3 casts on one piece of cover real quick, even though I'm have my trolling motor set on 8.5, almost at 9, so that's almost at full speed. All right, let's see, what are you guys talking about in the chat? All right, who is that chiming in? We have Chase. Chase Coleman says, hello. That wind's getting strong. Looks like our home lake is Wilson below the dam. Best smallmouth so far, nearly 8 pounds. Wow, okay. All right. Yeah, so the wind did kick in for a minute. It's kind of slow back down now. It was coming right around that point. So like I was saying, this little strip that I'm running through right now, all of the good stuff just is out of the water. So all these laydowns are pretty much out of the water. The rocks are out of the water. So it doesn't look like a productive area at all. So that's why I'm speeding through here. But as I'm doing that, I'm still taking the opportunity to test out my gear, making sure that I can make this spinnerbait land exactly where I need it to. There's a stump out there. Let's bring that right by that stump. There's another stump out there. Let's hit that stump one more time. See if I can bang the spinnerbait off of that stump without getting hung up on it. Bam. All right. Good deal. So all I'm doing is covering water. Can you guys tell that this, does it appear that I'm moving fast? Can you guys tell, or does it seem like I'm pretty much standing still from what you guys can see? Let's see, let me face it at the bank a little bit so maybe you guys can see as I'm covering the water from the bank. Ooh, bad cast. All right, so those laydowns are pretty shallow, but those little shaded spots, even though they're shallow like that, are places where, and there's a brush pile just sitting right there. but the water's shallow, so it's easy to see everything right now. All right, so Chase Coleman says, have you ever tried Pickwick or Wilson? Average bags are around 30 pounds. I've been to that lake one time, and that is when I had a boat accident. I did not get hurt, but my boat was totaled. My boat was totaled on that accident. I actually went airborne, did a 360 mid-air, landed, and knocked my lower unit off. It was still attached. It was just hanging on by the gear shaft. But yeah, could have had a terrible outcome on that. All right, so we have a nice run of docks over here, guys. All right, so on these docks, should I throw a spinner bait and run that alongside these docks, or a crankbait? What do you guys think? In the chat, let's get active. Tell me what do you guys think? All right, Delta Bass says we can tell the wind slowing you down some, but you're moving. Oh yeah, I was moving. All right, I see something right out here too. Let me get that right, get that spinner bait right out there and drag that right through that cover. All right, let's do it one more time. That's a lot of cover out there. Let's get this spinner bait out there again. All right, let that fall right down into that cover. All right, I have to spot lock that right there, guys, because there are fish over there. Cast right over to that dock. All right, so let's slow it down real quick. All right, so who is that? Too Shy says, crank it. All right, hit it with the crankbait. All right, Texas Noob says, Money, did you go get the leash for your motor? I ordered it, but it is on back order, so I have not received it yet. It's supposed to arrive in October. So I'm just currently waiting on that. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, um, looks like some good cover out there. I saw some fish were relating to the bottom. Oh my goodness, and I'm right on top of some nice looking cover too. But let's get this cast back out there where I just saw those fish at. All right, let's slow it down for just a second. See if maybe these fish over here want to cooperate. All right, what are you guys saying? Let's see. Try. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Clint Perry, what do you know about the koi K? I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, all right. Clint Perry out here coming out with, he knows some inside information. All right, let's see. Delta Bass says, yep, Pickwick is nice, like 3 hours from me. Put a chatterbait on him. All right, said hit him with the chatterbait. We'll see. We'll see. So I've been seeing fish out here, but the ones that I've been finding, besides that one area that we were at, they haven't been too active. But it is. What time is it, guys? Is it, wow? Okay, time has been moving on me. So yeah, time kind of got away from me. But Yeah, this is a good time. The sun is up. Fish have had time to do what they needed to do and head back home. So they may be headed back relating to those docks. So once we get to these docks, um, man, that cover right there feels so good, but no fish are biting it. Man, why? Why aren't the fish biting it? All right, guys, appreciate everybody for hopping into the chat. If you could, please hit the like button. We are at 55 likes. Can we get to 60? If you could, hit the like button. And as you hit the like button in the chat, put the number of like that you are when you hit that button. So who is going to be like number 56? So I'm looking in the chat to see who is going to be like number 56. All right, Daniel says swim baits are best for summer. All right, what does Chase say? Chase says that's definitely not a good memory at all. I've been having good luck here lately with 6 cents provoke. Okay, all right. So you're out here doing your thing. All right, appreciate it, Daniel. Put me up to 56 likes. I can see it. I see it. All right. So who is 57? Who is number 57? All right. So I can feel the cover that I was able to see on the graph. So I'm just bringing the shaky head through it, and we're almost to those docks, guys. Once I finish fishing this cover, then we're gonna speed up again and get to those docks as fast as I can. On those docks, I'm going to be working I guess we could go ahead and stick with that crankbait. We'll do that crankbait. Man, that crankbait, spinnerbait, I'm not sure which one. But then I'll definitely pull out the wacky rig so we can kind of slow it down on those docks a little bit too. All right, Daniel says, what's his biggest for the day? My biggest fish that I've caught? Um, Let me see. What is the biggest one that I've caught today? The biggest one that I've caught today is it's a little more than 0 pounds and a little less than 0 pounds at the same time. All right, so we're coming through some cover again, guys. The cover feels good, but I don't feel a fish bite. All right, let's go ahead and get moving. So right now I have not got any fish to the boat yet. No fish to the boat. But I have made it through almost all of the rods that I came out here to get lined up. All right. So this is the other thing that I wanted to work on, guys. Does anybody know what this is right here? Is anybody in the chat? Do you know what bait that is right there? All right, and I'm throwing this on. I believe this is 12 pound. Is this mono? I believe this was 12-pound mono filament line. This is a 7-foot medium cranking rod. It is a Ducket Micro Magic medium cranking rod. 12-pound. Let me just double check. Is this fluoro? Yeah, that stretch kind of feels like fluorocarbon. I believe that's what that is. But it feels like about 12 pounds. So I believe I was throwing my um a lipless crankbait. I believe I was throwing my lipless crankbait on this. That's why it has that line on here, but I changed the bait out. All right, let's see. What are you guys seeing in here? So Chase says, so far I found how good they was bought. Let me see, 6 1 day and went back. Okay, so you're talking about a little your fishing day out there. Daniel says, crank with the prop tail. What state is this in? So I'm in Georgia. I'm in Georgia, Daniel. All right, so now let's just keep on moving. I'm just gonna throw this a little bit till we get back here to these docks. Want to make sure I get this one set up, and then I push this to the side. So I just have 2 more rods that I want to go through here and just test the setup on, guys. Oh yeah, that one looks good right there. This might be the bait that I start off throwing for the tournament this weekend. Get the best of both worlds. You get a top water bait, you get a shallow running, got a wake bait. popper, shallow running crankbait, all of that all in one. I see some bait fish over there moving around. All right, so we're moving again, guys. We have a trolling motor on 8.5, covering water. Getting back here to these docks. Oh my goodness. All right, got a bunch of little baby bass following it. All right, so now we're starting to see some signs of life, guys. So they're right here at the boat. A bunch of little small ones, not too much bigger than the bait that I'm throwing. But look at this row of laydowns back here. Can you guys see all of that? So we're gonna run this top water right down that row of laydowns, and then you guys see these docks. So now we got to the area where I've been saying that I pretty much feel is gonna be the productive area. So now let's see if we can make something happen. And actually, my crankbait and wacky rig are what I want to throw over here. So I need to go ahead and get that wacky rig set up, which does not require much. Have another small follower. A little fish ran all the way, will swim all the way up to the boat. Don't want to make the mistake of hitting the camera again. Were any of you guys watching the other day whenever I knocked the camera and everything in the water? You heard me talking, and the next thing you heard was, "Oh shoot!" And when I went back and watched the replay, you actually see the camera as it headed down into the water. Yes, so there's some other small fish coming out. Looks like some brim followed it from out of there. So that's a nice area where there's some laydowns. I see some bait fish back here. All right, so things are kind of looking good. All right, so there's some more signs of life right there. Those are some bass, a little bit bigger, but not anything that you would, I don't even think they're keeper size, but they're following this bait out of there. All right, so yeah, I got the action on that. Everything is looking good, feeling good. I gotta tighten that up a little bit on the drag. So if you guys watched the tournament that took place on Lake West Point, maybe about, I don't know, 3 weeks to a month or so ago, this is the bait that I had that big fish on that came off. I didn't have my drag set. My drag was not set good. And as I was fighting the fish back to the boat, the tip of my rod just barely tapped the trolling motor. And when it did that, it gave that fish enough leeway to go ahead and jump out of the water and spit my bait. All right, so let's see. Daniel says they will hit the minnow bait quicker than stick worms. All right, Roger Palmer says not on a sunny bluebird day. Jig and crawl worm. Okay. All right, good deal, good deal. All right, so yeah, appreciate everybody for coming into the chat. All right, so we're almost to 60 likes. Can we get 3 more likes, guys? Just need 3 more likes and then we'll be sitting at 60. Really appreciate it. And if you are like number 58, put 58 in the chat. If you hit the like button and you are like number 58, put 58 in the chat. All right, I see 58. Uh-oh, guys, we're moving. Just need 2 more likes. Are we gonna get 2 more likes? All right, so now I got this one set up. I pretty much told you guys what the setup was on this one right here. That was the bait right there. This is a top water wake bait. This is called a depths buzz jet. All right, so that one right there. Hopefully this will be the one that brings me that 7-pounder this weekend. That's pretty much what I'm going to be targeting, is just one big fish. But you never know. As that day goes on, you know, if I haven't got that big fish to the boat yet, I may change my game plan and go after that 5 fish limit. All right, so let's see. Let's get some things changed up, guys. All right, let's hop in the chat real quick. What are you guys talking about? Okay, what's going on, Alexander? Good to see you tuning in. All right, so let's go ahead and put this one out of the way. And okay, wacky rig, wacky rig. All right, so on this lake, wacky rig, you guys can see that this is some nice clear water here. So I'm gonna put some a little bit of chartreuse on there, just a little bit, just to give the fish something to look at. All right, so what I'll be doing is running a spinner bait or crankbait along the sides of these docks, and then coming right behind that with a wacky rig. All right, let's see. Daniel says, why are bait casters so popular if you're supposed to swim the swimmer bait slower? And why are bait casters so popular if they knot up so much more often than spinning reels? So, well, for me with bait casters, they're generally more precise. You can control the fish a little bit better. But that's not to say that a good spinning setup, you can't do the same thing with. All right, so there we go. So I have this wacky rig next. And I have one of my tournament hooks on here. I don't feel like changing it out, so I'll go ahead and leave it on there. But those things are kind of expensive. I've already told you guys, made a full video and everything for the members only crew, where we went over the see if I can get that out of there. We went over my complete wacky rig setup with the hooks, the line, and all that kind of stuff. All right, fishing that lay down right there. Don't really see anything following that out. All right, shout out to Vertex. Hit me with a, what is that, a super sticker for 99 cents. Wow, okay. Really, really appreciate that. All right, I'm glad that you are finding value in the content and has decided to hit the channel with the 99-cent super sticker. Really, really appreciate that. And appreciate you for getting active in the chat. All right, good deal. Really, really appreciate that. All right, if everybody could just put V in the chat for me. We have somebody that has stepped up and said, "Hey, let me go ahead and kick in a few ends. Let's make some ends meet." Check out these laydowns back here, guys. Can you? There, yeah, you guys can see these laydowns back here, so that looks pretty good. So yeah, if you could put, let's see, Vertex says, "I love fishing, man." All right, really, really appreciate that. So yeah, if you guys could give V a shout out. Let's put V in the chat. Really appreciate the support of the channel. All right, so now this kind of area looks like largemouth country, guys. Slowing things down, have a wacky rig on. Doesn't really look like too much back here, so I'm just gonna fish right on the edge of that lay down right there and head on back out of here and focus on these docks that I've been working to get to real quick. All right, yeah, give him that strong arm. We had V come in with the 99-cent super sticker. Really, really appreciate that. All right, Alexander says, "Could you please show the spinner bait you are using?" All right, I'll show you the spinner bait. Hold on one second. All right, Daniel said, "Is this guy pro sponsorship?" Oh yeah, he just gave a pro sponsorship. He hit the channel with the super sticker. Really, really appreciate that. All right, let's see. That's right. Coleman says, "Bass boat gas ain't cheap. It sure is not." Yeah, all these super chat super stickers that you guys give during the live streams, all of that go right back into the channel to support the tournament adventures and things like that. Support the channel. So really, really appreciate it. All right, let's see if I can skip this right back there between those right at the edge of that dock. Uh-oh, V says hit him with the frog. Hit him with the frog. I might have to tie one on this weekend. We'll tie one on today or later this evening for this weekend. I pretty much like to take the time to make sure everything is set up way ahead of time. I don't really like getting tied on the night before the tournament and all that kind of stuff anymore. I like to be prepared way ahead of time so that when tournament evening comes, I can pretty much just fix my lunch and keep it moving. All right, yeah. If anybody is a frog specialist, we have somebody in the chat asking what is the best frog bait. What do you guys like using? What brand frogs do you guys like using? All right, so I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but I'm trying to skip that right under there where that jet ski is located. Let's skip it all the way back under there. All right, did you guys see it? So that cast went back there right where I needed it to be. But now let's just see if there's a fish back there. If it is, it would more than likely be a largemouth back here in this shallower water. We're sitting in 7 feet of water, and I'm casting up to probably about 3 or 4 feet of water over there. Not seeing my line jump or move. A lot of times all it takes is one cast in the areas like that. If there's a fish there that is active, it will take it, no problem. All right, got that one a little bit farther back in there. All right, let's see. Some are saying Berkeley frogs, they have over 200 options. One guy was saying, all right, sounds good. All right, nothing on that one. So let's keep on moving. All right, so some of these docks, I'll probably skip the docks. Some of the docks, I'll probably just run a crankbait down the side of it. All right, guys, how are we looking? Okay, we're sitting at 60 likes. Really, really appreciate it. If you are in the chat and you have not hit the like button, would you mind going ahead and hitting that like button, guys? All right, guys. So I have a tournament coming up this weekend. So the mission for the day is to get out here. As you guys have been seeing, I've been going through fishing a lot of different rods. That right there, I just got that one skipped way up under that dock. Let's see if it'll pay off. See if there's a fish under there. But I'm out here just making sure all of my equipment and everything is set up and running pretty good. Making sure that I can get these casts done accurately, making sure my reels are set up to where it allows me with my bait casters to cast those casts without getting backlashes, all that good stuff. So that whenever I reach into that rod locker to grab that rod and reel, it is already set up and ready to go. That is the mission for today. And if we happen to catch a fish or two, that won't be a bad thing. Won't be a bad thing at all. All right, let's see. What are you guys saying? All right, Daniel says, why booyah frogs? All right, so Vertex says, because you can pop them and skip them. There you go. You want to pop and skip. All right, so we're coming up on a shallow point right now. So we're just going to speed up and get past this. And hopefully you guys have seen all of these docks here. So this is what we're about to run through now. So I pretty much have some confidence that if I can get through, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 docks. We should get one fish off of 14 docks. All right, wouldn't you know, some schooling fish right over there. Shallow. May not be big, but let's just take a look and see if they want a wacky rig. You never know. All right, Daniel, what state are you in? What state are you in, Daniel? All right, so right now, this dock that I'm pulling up on doesn't really have a good area where I could skip that wacky rig under it. So what I do is I'll come in and I'll run a crankbait down the side of it. See if I can get a fish to come out from under that dock. Let's try one more time. Ah, bad cast. That did not get close enough to the side of that dock. There we go. All right, so pretty much let's run this crankbait for a little while get through some of these docks, see if we can get any of those fish to come out from under there and hiding. Now, these current conditions, a lot of people do not like fishing when it's calm, sun is out, not too much ripple on the water. But sometimes, oh shoot, that was a bad cast, guys. I do not even know where that went. All right, there we go. Got it back. Ah, had it back. Now I got hung up. How about that? So the wind is picking up back here just a little bit. When I made that cast, it blew my bait right into the dock. All right, so these docks are a little on the shallow end. All right, so who do we have checking in, guys? We still have Daniel in the chat. Daniel says he's in Florida. Okay, land of the big fish. All right, wood is the worst for snagging. So yeah, wood, it just depends. I mean, sometimes, if you can throw a crankbait in there, a square bill, sometimes you can work that right through the wood. What's going on, Larry? Checking in says greetings from Berlin. What is going on? We have Berlin checking in. What kind of fish are you catching over there in Berlin? Glad you can make it. And if you could, please tap the like button while you are here. It really does help the channel. All right, so this dock has a nice little shady side to it. And I like that, but I'm not making my cast good. That's another thing. A good thing about a practice day is certain techniques. If you don't do them too often, it'll give you a chance to kind of come out here. Like for this last tournament, the one I actually ended up winning on Logan Martin, that was live. I was actually on this lake and I just picked the area and I just practiced getting back into the groove of skipping my jig, my chatterbait, things like that. It didn't really take me long to get back into the groove of it, but I didn't want to just show up on tournament day without having my rod and my reel and my line and everything, have the drag and all that, and the brakes and everything set the way that I needed it to be for tournament day. So I kind of did the same thing that I'm doing now. I just come out here, get some cast, and just kind of imitate what I plan on doing for the tournament. So even if I don't catch any fish out here doing this, it's still preparing me for my upcoming tournament. What is going on? We have Big Ivy checking in. He says, I'll send you MoneyBass. Let me see what you done. What's going on? We have Tom Mix checking back in. He says, and swim that skinny dipper out slowly. Let me see. Add a drop when it clears the edge of the dock slip. Okay, all right. So right now I'm just running this crankbait along the edges of these docks. Not really. So these docks right here are super shallow. So I'm sitting in 7 feet of water. So the water is actually down out here right now. I did not check the water level or anything out here before I came today. So I wanted to get that right over to this dock just in case there was something out there that could come out and grab it. But this has a nice opening where I can skip this wacky rig in there. So that's what I'll do on this dock right here. There we go. Nice little square bill. That's basically what I'm running right now. This color to me isn't really good for this lake, but I'm just leaving it on here for now because this is what I plan on throwing this weekend at this tournament. All right, there we go. Let's see if I can get that back there. All right, nice skippity skip. Got that one right back there where it needs to be. But now it just needs to be a fish back there. All right, really appreciate the likes and the support of the channel. If you are watching and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hey, we're out here doing these lives. I try to do at least once a week. And also every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is when we do the in-studio broadcast. All right, looks like these fish don't want to cooperate over here either. They're like, nah, buddy. All right, the next runner up. Let's see what is going to happen here. Let's see if any of these fish want to cooperate. I can give it a quick look-see, a quick scan. I did not really see any movement under this dock, but let's go ahead and skip it anyways. Could be something under there hiding from me. All right, let's keep moving. Nothing under that one. All right, really appreciate it. You guys got me up to 64 likes. Really appreciate that, guys. Steve Johnson says, show the mega live. All right, there isn't really anything to see right now on it. What I'll do is when I leave out of this cove, I'll go back over to that brush pile where I had that fish on that pulled me down into the brush pile. I'll go back out to that and we can take a look over there. And then I can show you the guys live image and let you see that structure and see those fish moving around and see if maybe we can catch one. Maybe, maybe. All right, Rod Wilson, he says, hey, money from the flatlands of Kansas. All right, good to see you. All right, Big Ivy says, I hope you ain't using that four faces sonar. I'm going to have to find you. Ah, what if you're using it, but it's not helping you catch any fish? Does that still count, Big Ivy? All right, coming up on another dock. So this one has a few little gaps in it. Let's see if we can skip this back in there. Uh-oh, these docks aren't really feeling too promising. But we still have a few more to go. All right, did not get that one skipped in there, and I do not feel like stopping. Well, actually, let's see if we can try it this way. All right, there we go. I got it under there. Let's spot lock for a second, slow down a little bit. All right, let's see. Big Ivy says we just take that as a trial and error. All right, nothing under that one. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving, guys. All right, we're gonna give the spinnerbait some. Take the spinnerbait off the bench now. We tried the crankbait. So let's just get that spinnerbait in action. And I do want to throw that a few times out here because it may be something that I'm throwing this weekend. So I want to make sure I can get these casts good and get them right to where I need them to be so I can run that right down the sides of these docks. All right, came out of there, nothing followed it out. Let's get it right over there in that corner. Oh, goodness. All right, there we go. Man, where are the largemouth at? They're not cooperating today. See if I can get this cast down there, right down the side of this dock. All right, there we go. All right, we're still rolling. All right, we're at 66 likes. Can we hit 70? Can we get 4 more likes? All right, what does Daniel say? Daniel says he has not, let me see, said his PB yet. Oh, so my PB, if you guys were asking me, I said my, for largemouth, it was 8.57. Largemouth, I mean, not smallmouth, the spotted bass is a 5 pound, 11 ounce. 511 is my biggest spotted bass, and 857 is my PB on um, a largemouth. Smallmouth, I'm not really sure. I don't remember what the weight was on the smallmouth. I caught one of those. Well, I caught quite a few of those up fishing Tim's Ford. Has any of you guys ever fished Tim's Ford? All right, let's keep it moving. This water is so clear here, guys. All right, let's see, guys. Man, yeah, we've been rolling. We've been rolling for a good little bit. All right, guys, it is almost 3 o'clock. Doesn't look like I'm going to finish up this row of docks. Need to go ahead and head in for the day. I did not get through all of my rods, so I will probably come back out here again tomorrow to finish testing out a few more things. I need to get that Chad Shad set up right. I need to get my mag draft set up and rolling. So really, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. But guys, I gotta go. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is when we do our weekly live streams in the studio. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next live stream.